Hey guys, hope everybody's doing all right. Kind of crazy right now. I'm going to get on here real quick and just do a little instructional video to hopefully help you with your AMI stuff. I'm going to do day 9 for the social studies activity. So if we skip up here, we kind of just skim it. I can see we've got a short little paragraph that we need to read, and our job is to let me do this real quick so you guys can see. All right, cool. So, take a position on the question and write a persuasive essay in which you argue for your position. Okay, so if you're not familiar with a persuasive essay, all right, it's called that because your job is to persuade your reader. So you're going to convince your reader to feel the same way that you do. Okay, so you're going to read this short little paragraph. All right, you're going to take a viewpoint, yes or no, and then you're going to convince the reader to join in on your position. Okay, so we'll start off reading it together. Mr. Johnson is a merchant living in Virginia in the early 1800s. Okay, so if you have no idea what a merchant is, all right, you could have Googled what is a merchant. Okay, so I went ahead and did that for you guys. A merchant is basically someone in the 1800s and the early United States that would bring in goods to a community. All right, so they had ledgers and all that stuff where they kept all their documents, but basically they didn't have Walmart, so they had to bring in all the stuff by merchants. Okay, you've got your pen and your ink bottle. They didn't have Sharpies. All right, you've got your shoes, gloves, handkerchief, man's buckle for his belt. That's actually a belt buckle. Okay, you got your mug, all that good stuff. That's actually a magazine, believe it or not. Okay, so Mr. Johnson's a merchant living in Virginia, early 1800s. He has a promising business there, so he's doing okay. All right. So many of his friends are going to take a risk and move out west in hopes of finding adventure and the opportunity to start a business where there are fewer competitors. Okay. So, like I said, he's doing all right there. He's going to make some money, but a lot of his friends are like, hey, man, let's go out west. We can kind of explore the country, find some cool new stuff. And then also, nobody else out there is going to be doing what we're doing. We're going to have less competitors so we can possibly make more money. All right. So, your job, all right, is to take a position on should Mr. Johnson move out west instead of continuing to grow his business in Virginia. All right. So, this is going to be a great example of cost benefit analysis. All right. Mr. Johnson, no matter what he does, if he stays or if he goes out west, he has costs and benefits with each of those scenarios. All right. So a lot of the work is done for you guys. All right. Your yes or your no. They've got a little sentence here to make it all nice and pretty. All right. Yes, Mr. Johnson should take the risk to move out west where he might find adventure and business opportunities. Or no, Mr. Johnson should play it safe and stay in Virginia where his business is developing. Okay. So persuasive essay, you're going to convince your reader. An essay is going to be 3 paragraphs, and each paragraph is going to have 5 sentences. Okay. So these sentence frames are going to be the beginning of those paragraphs. All right. So you've got 3 sentence frames, and guess what? 3 paragraphs. Okay. So each one of these sentences is going to start your paragraph. So your first one, I believe Mr. Johnson should or should not go out west because blah, 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 blah. And then you'll have that sentence and then 4 other sentences. Okay. So I kind of started it up. Well, maybe I didn't. No worries. Okay. So you would type, I believe Mr. Johnson should or should not move out west because he can find a new life, move out there where there are less competitors. He can find adventure, whatever. Another reason Mr. Johnson should or should not, whatever you want to do on that. And then to start your third paragraph, there is little doubt that Mr. Johnson should or should not, whatever he's going to do. All right. So 3 sentences, or sorry, 3 paragraphs of 5 sentences. Make sure that you convince one way or the other. You can't do both sides. You have to pick a side. All right. And then finish that up and submit that, and you're all done for day 9 of your social studies stuff.